Welcome back at Roasties. Round 3 of the World Cup is upon us. We are through 2 rounds already. We have had some magic moments, some great scores, some close games, some blowout games, a bit of everything. But I've been loving it as much as the guy right next to me, Elliot Lovejoy. Have to point out your magical jacket there, mate. Well, I'm not pointing it out. You right before we went on. How about my P&G jacket? So have to point it out. I love your World Cup apparel that you've been wearing the last few weeks, mate. You've got a bit of everything. But how are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm right on the Cummels wagon. At Triple M, we do our call team with Ray Thompson, former Cowboy, very proud PNG man, and he didn't really give me a choice. He said support the Cummels or else. So I'm very much on that PNG train. It was nice to see him win again last night or this morning.
Did you see someone sent me a photo of the uni that Roderick is it Roderick Tay
Mm-hmm.
and Justin Olam that they went to in PNG. All the students there's like 200 packed in this room or I don't know what it was, but they had this one little tiny TV. It was like 50 centimeters, and they're all watching the game this morning on it.
Yep.
That is like, we're going to get into some of the moments, but for me, that is it. Like, they just absolutely love their football up in PNG, and it's great to see them, get to see their stars on the big stage. And they have been playing well, especially that win against the Cook Islands this morning, which we're going to get into. But yeah.
Well, I know that you've covered it before, but it's the only country in the world where rugby league is the national sport, and it's for anyone that's been over there, it's a beautiful part of the world, but it's rugby league is religion. It's you see videos about Aussie cricketers getting mobbed when they go to India. Rugby league's the same thing over in PNG. It's awesome. As you mentioned, nice to see him winning as well.
They seen a heap of videos of teams when they're going over there and they're throwing stuff out the windows, and there's kids and even adults just running up the side of the bus trying to get whatever they can, whether it's shorts, jerseys. Someone had their phone there and someone's reached in and just pinched their phone as well. I remember seeing that a couple of years ago. But yeah, crazy. Good to see him doing well. And it looks like they're into the quarters, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into some of the games. Let's have a quick look over the last round, real quickly.
Yep.
Australia v Scotland. Look, Australia with a massive win here. Fox, 4 tries, clear standout there. Cleary as well, 28 points, to finish second all-time for most points on debut, behind the great Joey John. So, massive win there. Scotland were very disappointing, especially since I took them with the start. But anyway. Fiji, Italy, big bounce back here by the Fijians with a 60-4 win. Fiji really tearing the Azuri to shreds in that win as well. England v France. This one not going the way I think everyone thought. France near 40-point underdogs in that game, and they put up a fight against the English. Came back from 18-0 down to be respected at 18-12 at half time, but going down 24 points in the end. New Zealand v Jamaica. This is a big one. Hat tip to Jamaica here. Scored their first ever World Cup try. How good was it seeing them cheer off Ben Bishop-Jones at the end? It was his 300th top grade game, and he was the one that scored the try for Jamaica, their first ever in a World Cup. Jamaica also staying within that massive 74.5 point start. A big FU to everyone who laughed at me for taking them. Lebanon v Ireland. I thought this one was a cracker. Good battle early, some crunching, big hits. Lebanon out to a huge lead early, looked to be running away with it. Moses and Kiraz, combining for one of the tries of the tournament. Mm-hmm. He will be missed this weekend, unfortunately, Kiraz. He took a heavy head knock.
He got knocked out, eh?
Yeah, really bad. Yeah. So with their, I think it's 10 days or something, they have to stay out. He's going to miss their final game. But look, they've they should win their next one and wrap up a quarterfinal. So hopefully you get to see him again. Some good glimpses, I thought, from Ireland, but just not good enough in the end. There was a squirrel grip complaint in that one. Did you see that? You're a big fan of squirrel grips.
Yeah, I built my career around them. So yeah, I saw it, and I saw a bit of fallout afterwards.
What was between? Was it between Kiri and Cahill? I think they shook hands, and then they were blowing up a bit at each other. Kiri sort of waving his arm at him and saying, piss off.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been an official complaint made or whatever. I'll leave it till then. But, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you grab another man's testicles. It just happens.
It does.
Yeah.
We all love a good
You
squirrel
and I,
grip.
when we don't get along, sometimes it's just what we do to get the power back.
100%. I always show dominance, grabbing first too.
You're my sub. You're my sub.
Samoa v Greece. Samoa bouncing back as predicted. Brian Toa, massive 371 metres. An all-time game from him, massive. But Tim Laffey, we spoke about players coming in. Tim Laffey coming into the squad, making a big impact in that game, which was really good to see. Tonga v Wales. Tonga around 30-point faves. I picked them to be around a 30-point faves before the odds were out last week. A 26-point win here and locks up a quarterfinals appearance for Tonga. Great start from Wales, surprising everyone, scoring the first try. Led in 2 quick ones before halftime to go in the break 16-6, but it was closer than that score in the first half. Daniel Tupu with a hat-trick here as well, so keep an eye out on him in the next game. And PNG Cook Islands, like this morning we spoke about, Reece Martin, unable to clinch that record-breaking 42nd consecutive goal. He missed his first attempt, so that was gone, unfortunately for him. 10-8 at half-time with some really good hard footy played, and PNG getting the edge in the second half, running away with it 30-16. Mate, there's been some great moments, not just in the last round, but in the whole comp. Do you have a moment or a try of the World Cup so far?
I still think my favourite one comes from a place of bias, and it was the Dom Young intercept try in the first game for England against Samoa, and I know he had another long range try against France as well, but it was special because you could hear the crowd behind him every step of the way too, and he's that big a human being. I think he takes 2 strides for the 10 meters, and it's like watching a gazelle roam free. It looks like it should be a documentary.
Even his second try in that game where he got on the outside of someone and he doesn't even really step back. He just veers back in and puts Suwali on skates, which was interesting. But, he's a great talent. You've got him for top try scorer, haven't you, or player of the tournament?
Yeah, I went player of the tournament, which I know is a big risk as a winger, but, I just think they don't get enough love, the poor old wingers, doing the real dirty work, let's be honest. He's got 4 tries already in the tournament. He was player of the match on this past game against France. So, look out for Big Dom. Again, rival clubs, piss off, stay at Newcastle. But yeah, very impressed seeing him so far.
And also, you look at Fox. He got player of the match. I know he scored 4 tries, but player of the match. So there's 2 wingers that have had player of the matches in the round just gone. So he could be a smoky for the player of the tournament. Especially who they got this week. England, Greece. Scores a triple, hat trick. A hat trick or 4 tries. He could be up for it again. There's 2 man of the match performances in the group stages, so anything's possible.
Yep.
For me, there's been plenty of moments. Some of the standouts for me, the Greece pub, the people in Greece watching their first ever try in a World Cup, I thought that was pretty magical. The PNG guys, like we spoke about this morning, Jamaica's first try and the moments after. Some of the New Zealand players spoke about this, how humbling it was for them playing against Jamaica. A lot of them were saying, you guys are our idols. We've loved watching you play, and for them to speak about how that's affected them and promoted the game in Jamaica is really special. Jersey swapping. I love the jersey swaps at the end of games. Players, I feel it's a lost thing in the NRL. We used to see it as young kids, a lot of different players in different jerseys at the end of the games. And we're seeing a lot of that back, which I think is really special. Some of the tries have been amazing. Joey Manu's brilliance. Burton and Fox against Scotland. Burton saving the ball from going over the sideline and Fox then grubbering through and grounding the ball in the in-goal. Thought that was pretty special. Greece and Magoulias and Mujos. I can't even pronounce his name, which I think you're going to get into in a second. As well as Ilias's chip getting a pass back inside for a try against Samoa. A couple of great tries there. Coolers nearly try the tournament where the ball just touched the sideline, but bringing it back in and they scored a no try at the end. But just the effort they're putting into some of these tries is absolutely brilliant. So, but yeah, look, I can't pronounce names, and I know some of these commentators in the World Cup are struggling as well. They're getting paid for it. They should be making a bigger effort. You want to tee off on a few of these guys, mate?
Yeah, I was watching the Fiji Italy game, and first mistake of that game, I took Fiji 1-12, which about 15 minutes into that, I realised I was in a lot of trouble.
Gone.
But I just thought it was really lazy that Taruva, the fullback, the young fellow who's at the Penrith Panthers, in the first 15 minutes of that game, had his name pronounced Tave, Tuave, Turave. It's just, I mean, the first thing you do, and it doesn't matter if you're doing this at local league level or with Triple M NRL or whether you're with Fox League or whatever they are over there, you get the team sheets, you talk to whether it's the media manager or you get your production team to talk to, and you get pronunciations of players. If you're not sure, you get pronunciations. It's really lazy to go out there and you could tell that, and I hate bagging people because I don't think that's normally who I am, but I was really disappointed watching that game, that the way they butchered his name, and it wasn't just him, there was a lot of them where you could tell there was no prep done prior. It was frustrating to watch, and I imagine even more frustrating with anyone of Fijian descent or closely connected to that team or the family, because it's just, as I said, literally the first 15 minutes, Tuave, there was, I think Brandon Wakeham, they were calling Brandon Wakeman for the first half of that game until someone, I think, corrected him at half time. It came across very lazy, and I was disappointed watching it.
Look, I've had a lot of comments, especially in the sections in the posts of post games, where you see like even Lebanon, they weren't pronouncing Lebanon correctly and calling a try a score. Now I know the English game is different in the way they do things, but it's a try. It's always been a try in all the rules of the game. It's not a score, right? Little things like this have been pissing just the general community off as well as these bad pronunciations. Teams put out like I know Samoa did it. How all the players got up and hi, I'm whoever, and this is how you pronounce the name. So it's not hard to read that as a commentator. Do your research and go, okay, I'm going to make an attempt at this. The fact that they've got one name and they've made it 4 different ways. In a game is disappointing. Like, it'd be okay if they attempted it and just stuck with that. Someone might pull them up at the end and go, you got that wrong. Oh, okay, well, I'll make an attempt to get it better next time. It's clear that they haven't done the research and they're just, whatever they can come up with at the time, they're throwing out. It is disappointing. I'm with you there.
Well, and I know for a fact, like, we cover all the Cowboys games, and their media manager, who's a really good fella, Eremiah Nanai. At the start of this year, it was just Eremiah Nanai, or Nane, a lot of people were calling him. But he sent us all through a group text that were covering the game with a voice memo. This is a pronunciation. Any questions, let me know. And I know they all do that too. So, there's no excuse. And, like I said, watching, I was really disappointed with that, because this is meant to be the biggest event for our sport. And to butcher it like they did at times for that game was embarrassing.
Yeah, 100%. Look, guys, you're getting paid for it. Do a little bit better. Had a lot of questions in regards to the tournament and the way it's going. Whether it's acceptable, these blowout scores, all that sort of stuff. Do we just have to accept the blowout scores as in the group stages, or could we do a format better like the T20 are doing? What are your thoughts?
A double-edged sword, and I think maybe you answered your own question before. You spoke about Jamaica and New Zealand, and the fact that these Jamaican kids were literally saying, "You are our heroes." That will go down as one of the greatest moments, if not the greatest moment of their life, getting to play against blokes like Joey Manu and Brandon Smith, etc.
100%.
So I love players with stories you've spoken about, like school teachers that have quit their jobs and semi-professionals representing their countries, getting to lock horns with the best in the business. That's from a player's perspective. From a viewing perspective, I get the blowouts can be frustrating, though. I think it's a really hard question to answer. As someone that I suppose is a purist, I'd keep it the way it is, because I do love seeing Greece get the opportunity to go ahead against England, this weekend, that kind of thing. I just think that's such a cool experience for guys that have never played anyone at that level before. We can get the frustration of the players, but just know when it gets to the business end, not the players, sorry, the fans, when it gets to the business end, there are going to be some remarkable games on the way.
We'll always have those big countries in the knockout stages, in the quarters and semis. But the others are going to change throughout the years. Like Lebanon's probably going to be there. You've got Samoa, Tonga, and they're going to provide upsets as well eventually. We've had like Scotland drew with New Zealand not long ago. I know they're getting hammered this time, but there was a point where they were on the up. Ireland's looking good. That, like we said, Ireland versus Lebanon was one of the games of the tournament last week. The people saying the T20 format, which is great in theory, where a lot of these smaller countries play each other to play into the group stage, then they do a bit of a round robin. That's too long. Like cricket is, they can play 3 games in a week if they needed to. We're playing once a week. To do that sort of format, you need 3 months, which is just not going to get signed off. It's just not viable. I think, yes, we're going to have blowout scores, but like you said, we're going to have these players that are playing against these big countries getting exposure, which is probably the biggest thing for these smaller countries, getting exposure in their own home country, getting people behind them, seeing them play on this world stage and having people aspire to play in future tournaments is just going to benefit the game. Yes, we're going to have blowout scores, and we're going to have teams that not win a game, get flogged by 50 points each game and not make it to the quarters, but eventually they're going to build up to be a Lebanon, a Tonga, Samoa, playing in the quarters, semis, and providing an upset. So, like, eventually, even this one, we could have a Tonga or Samoa play against England in the semi. If they beat them, we could have a Tonga and Samoa in a World Cup final. Mm-hmm. If you said to someone even 10 years ago that was going to happen, they would have laughed at you. So it shows how far the game's come because of this. So I think keep it. Yep. I don't think we need to change it at all. Before we get into the games, mate, Movember's coming up. I know I've always been, involved in Movember and different things, and you're always big speaking on men's mental health. I thought we could do something. I'm not going to shave my beard just to grow a mustache, but I thought maybe dye our hair or do something, a bit of a challenge. We'll start a group, and I'd love you to join. And I might throw it open to everyone. If you want to join our group, become a Mo Bro, grow a mustache, dye your hair, dye your beard, do something. I think you can even get out and exercise, which is even better. Might set a thing. I'm not going to go as far as Ned Frothman going from Perth to Sydney, but get out and do 50 or 100 Ks or something over the month would be good. But yeah, mate, you up for something like that?
Yeah, I don't know about the exercise element of it, but I can definitely dye something for you. That's no dramas.
Maybe you could do could you play 72 holes of golf in a day?
Oh, I'd love to. As long as you tell my fiance it's for charity and for good causes, and if you can get the approval from her, great. Yeah, but good luck to you.
Every Saturday, you have to go out and play golf just for charity. Yeah. It's for charity, right?
I've got to play from 5 a.m. until 10 p.m. and I've got no say in it. I'm really sorry.
Now we'll do that. We'll put it out. We want everyone to join. Of course, we've still got World Cup through November, so we'll be getting some stuff out. But yeah, if you want to join, I'll put a link in this description, and we'll launch it actually official next week. So get it all organised.
Right.
Mate, we're only going to focus on a couple of games this week. Obviously, there are some mismatches here. There's going to be a lot of blowout scores, we probably think. A lot of them one-sided, but we still probably some value there. So we'll get into it and run through some of the games. Mm-hmm. Mate, New Zealand, Ireland. New Zealand minus 42.5. We spoke about that squirrel grip against the Ireland player. I won't mention that again. New Zealand failed to cover the massive start against Jamaica. Ireland, as fades, went down to Lebanon. We did pick that, or I did pick that. I'm not sure. I forget what you did. Mate, what do you think here? Is New Zealand going to cover the 42.5, or do you back the Irish to get within it?
I'm going to go New Zealand to cover just with another game under their belt. And I know that they'll swap and change a few players out, but some combinations building. I think they put a big score on this week. I think a 50-6 kind of score line I'm looking at.
Yep. You think Ireland can only get one try? I think they could probably get a couple here.
If they get a couple, I think then New Zealand scores 60.
Yeah, right.
I think New Zealand click this weekend and start getting themselves, red and ready for the business end.
Yeah, look, 42.5. It does seem a lot, but when New Zealand can get 4 or 5 tries in that first half, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, they only need 2 tries, and I think even failing to cover that 72.5, 74.5 last week, I think they probably get the job done here. Ireland, I've really loved Ireland in this World Cup. Obviously, Ireland heritage from me as well. You sort of want to get them going and support them a little bit, but I have loved what they've been doing here. against, like we said, Lebanon game around last week. So, but yeah, 42.5 might be just a little bit too much. So I'm with you. I'm going to take 42. New Zealand minus 42.5. You got a try scorer. I'm going to take, if he plays, because the teams haven't been announced, I'm going to take Dylan Brown. I think he's going to get a little bit of value compared to the wingers centres. And if he plays back in that 6, I think he gets a try here.
Yeah, I'm going to take a Britain Nakora double.
Ooh,
I think
nice.
he's due for something special if he plays this weekend.
Yep, love it. England, Greece, probably not going to spend too much time on here. This one, England minus 64.5. England cover that.
No.
No.
I'm going to go no.
Is it, do you think, because they've already wrapped up their quarterfinal spot, they're resting players, they can try different things, or is it just you think Greece will stay within 60 points?
I think Greece will do just enough, just as France did enough last week. French are a better team than Greece, but I think Greece will cover, and I will go a Dom Young hat trick for the Pomsa.
He's on, you reckon?
Yeah. 3 tries. I've
got Jack Wellesby. I think he'll get over for me. I don't know. I've got something around some halfbacks and the guys in the middle there. So Jack Wellesby. Yeah, I think so. And they get a little bit more value than some of the outside backs. But I'm with you. I think Greece can stay within this 64.5. Whether it's England start changing a few things at the end, let off the gas a little bit, or what? But I think Greece showing some signs of some good quality, so I think they can stay within that 64.5. Fiji, Scotland again. Scotland very disappointing against Australia. Fiji minus 38.5. Fiji cover.
Yeah, I'm going to take them, especially after how destructive they were last week.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same. I think they cover here. Again, 38.5. Seems like a lot, but again, Fiji with their massive win, I think they get here. Appy, I'm going to pick him as my try scorer in this one. He got over in the last one, and I think he does it again.
I was thinking of Appy, but I'm going to go a kick-out double.
Kick-out double. You're massive on these doubles, triples this week. You're going big.
Well, it's easier for me to do that. I just pick a player I like, and they do it twice.
Yep.
It's less research, less work.
One we'll focus on, because we probably think there's going to be some try scorers in this one. Australia v Italy. Yep. Aussies 72.5 point favourites. Now, the Aussies going well over that 64 points against the Scottish. Are you willing to take them on here?
Yeah, because Italy were putrid against Fiji. So I do think the Aussies will cover again.
Look, I want to see Italy stay under the total. And again, we have an Australian team that, regardless of being chopped and changed, which I fell for last week, probably should be good enough to put on a score, and should be also good enough to keep a team to 0. Does the fact that Italy's made up of mostly Aussie players playing in that Aussie style help them, do you think? Or do you...
After watching them this past week, no. I thought they were pretty rubbish. I just don't know
if they can do it back to back. Put on like 84 against Scotland.
Yeah.
Now 70. They'd have to go 73, 74 against Italy.
Yeah, I think they do it.
I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go against that. I'm gonna take Italy with the start. If Cleary plays, I think he gets at least one. Who's your try scorer here?
I'll go Eremai and Anai to get 2.
2.
Yeah.
Lebanon, Jamaica. Lebanon minus 40.5. Must win here for Lebanon to make the quarters, but I think they're pretty safe with a win here. I've got Abbas Miski to score here, but do you think Lebanon cover?
I do think they cover. Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. One of the games we think would be interesting this week, Samoa v. I think it'd be interesting. Samoa v. France. Samoa minus 29.5. Samoa bounced back big last week, needing the win here to get that quarterfinal game. I think they win, but is 30 points or more, is that too much?
I'll say they'll cover because I'm hopeful for Samoa fans.
I've liked the France side so far. They only beat Greece in that first round, but they put up a fight and covered the start against the English. So I think I want to back them here with the 30 points. Right. Yeah, I think the two Arthurs for me have been pretty good. Romano and can you pronounce Morgay? I can't pronounce it. Yep, that'll do. Apologies to Arthur. Tim Laffey again doing some great things, like we said last week, coming in that squad. Yep.
Yeah.
Go.
No, go. I'm listening to you, mate.
Oh no, you're right. You wanted to tell us about Salford?
I love what he does at Salford. He's been really good there, and I was just going to say I'm going to take, believe it or not, a New Brown double for this week.
Yeah, and you pointed him out. Like you said, hopefully he comes in and does some work last week, which he did. Yeah,
he should be playing hooker. He should be playing hooker for him.
I'm going to take Jerome Luai. Scored last week, and I think he gets it done again. I think he gets a little bit of value there. And we've got no info yet on Tonga v Cook Islands, PNG Wales. But yeah, obviously I'm going to take Tonga and PNG there. But be careful of Wales. They've put up some fights in their last couple of games, so be wary of big lines there. But that should do us again for week 3, mate.
I would like to apologise because I know I thought I was on a hot streak after 1 week. My lock of the week was Lebanon to win, which obviously happened. I was very happy with that head-to-head, but it was also Italy 1-12 against Fiji, and Fiji has just belted the piss out of them. So apologies.
56 points or something?
Yeah, I hope nobody jumped on that, which is why I'm not handing out a lock this week. But if it was, I'd say it's probably Kaloa-Matangi into Justin Olam in those last 2 games, if I had one. That's all I'm saying.
Not bad. Kaloa-Matangi's been on fire. Yep. Mate, you should have seen the comments I got for taking Jamaica and Scotland with the start. Now, everyone was blowing up at me saying I should have deleted the video, everything. Yeah. But I'm like, no, I'm not a coward. I'll keep it up.
Yeah. You're a lot of things. You're a wanker. You're not very likable, but you're not a coward. You are right.
100%. But yeah, but everyone was saying, oh, Jamaica, New Zealand smoke them as well, which they didn't. They, Jamaica covered. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I'll take that.
I mean, it's not a winning bet, but
no, it's not. But
if that's what you base your life on, and that 50% of the things you do are okay, then that's sad for your family and for you. But that's okay. I understand. And your followers.
2 kids, half of them are pretty good. So
one of them's good, the other one's
good. Yeah, that's how I live my life. You scumbag. Thanks, legend. And back next week with some quarters. Again, this is our tips, not gambling advice. Please gamble responsibly. And we'll talk again for the quarters, mate.
Sweet.
When the real action starts. Cheers, mate.
Yes, please.